In this episode, I will be building an engine shed complete with motorized door and a few other extras. Stick around! Hi, and welcome back to a new episode. Today I'm going to start building this area. I want to make a hard standing here and an engine shed for these three sidings. Well, I'm not decided yet, to be honest with you, because I'm not sure if I want to just put an engine shed for these two sidings here, for the DMUs, or the three sidings. I'm not sure what I'm going to put on this one yet. I'm sure something will pop up on eBay. So this is what's going through my mind. After the hard standing is done, I'm thinking of this would be two separate. I'm going to put this part in here. This is all temporary, okay? So I was thinking if I just do these two sidings for the DMUs, whatever I put on the third siding is going to be covered by the building, and I'm not too happy with that. Plus I'm thinking that the door is a bit tight. Oh, they'll pass through, but okay, but still it looks small. So instead of this, I have another option, which is this. Again, this is all temporary. These are leftover cuts that I have from, I think that's the warehouse here. This way I have all three sidings, one big front, and yes, I will go further this way. I won't stay close to the track. I will move and make an area out inside the engine shed. I don't know, maybe it's a machine shop in there as well where they do repairs. But anyway, I'm thinking this, and I might go for another roller shutter. If I do this, it's got to be because I can't have hinge doors right across three tracks. So yes, it will be another roller shutter. Difficult one, but we learn from the first one and not to repeat the same mistakes. So this is one thing on my mind. Now another one is, and I think I will go with this, by the way. Let me just put that there for now. And I started with the hard standing, and this is what I came up with. These are 2mm styrene, and if I put them here, this is 3mm cork. Obviously this is higher. Let me move this one out of the way. Now it's higher here, obviously. Now if I put a 1mm styrene there, it will slide exactly onto the sleepers and bang against the studs of the chairs, which is perfect because it doesn't creep up too close to the track, and at the same time there's a ledge there. There's about 0.5 millimeter ledge there, so the track is 0.5 millimeter higher than the hard standing. And from experience I've learned that when I clean the track, and in some areas I have this resting on top of those studs, I tend to wear away the paint on the hard standing. So this time I'm going to be sure that this finish here, which is the finish of the hard standing, does not ride on top of the studs. So that's what I'm thinking about. Now the other thing that's on my mind also, let's move this out of the way, is the back here. Let me move the camera. Sorry for the movement and the shaking. Now these buffers will go. Maybe they'll go, yeah. Anyway, I can't have a square back here because obviously the track is there. So I'm thinking either go at an angle, square off here and down again, or else follow the track. More work, a lot more work. I think it will look nicer. And people would throw rubbish there and junk at the back, as opposed to having a straight at an angle. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. So I'm going to start with this first, obviously, and show you progress as I go along. Okay, just to bring you up to date, I have raised the surrounding area high enough, plus the in between the tracks, so when I place the final layer, it will be level with the sleepers. So far I have done the following. Wait, it's a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. So this is what it's going to look like, something like this. This one I believe belongs to here, yeah. There, and so on and so forth. Anyway, you can imagine what I'm doing here. There. If you're hearing a noise, these are the red arrows at the moment flying over the island. There's an air show. Anyway, something like that. Obviously I'm gonna have to continue this part here all the way to this line here, which I will cut straight. I just have to fiddle about with this narrowing part here and around this bend here. Doesn't have to cut manually. I'll fill this, and this, and I will have the finish ready. But before I glue it, I'll have to paint it. Oh, and obviously between the tracks to cover the sleepers. We wouldn't want anybody to fall down there, would we? Okay, so I'll update you a bit later when I've painted it and it's in place, over which then I can start designing the exact shape, the outline of the building itself. Until then. So, as you can see, I finished it. It's all glued, painted. I did have a bit of a problem with this curved part here. Here comes one of the DMUs. Okay, the other one is on its way. It's a bit far, but anyway, I will now measure the perimeter to fit a building exactly on the hard standing, and the part down here will be rough terrain with some scrap. I have these bodies here, which I would like to put out here with some tall grass, overgrown grass, like the nature is burying it, that kind of thing. I like the finish. There are a few defects, like this gap here, because these are two separate pieces. Isn't exactly perfect. I don't really mind because it's going to be covered except for the front part here. I kind of weathered it with some black wash. I like it, just a bit of gentle weathering. And there we are. Lovely. I will have to adjust the stops. I would like these to go a bit further in, something like, because as you can see I removed the buffers, so now there won't be buffers, and I want the building to reach out to about, let me get a ruler, yeah, to about here, no more than that. The rest I would like to be just an open yard. So I'm going to measure it, like I said, and I'm going to start working on the building, and I will get back to you. Time for an update. As you can see, I started the building. I've got most of the walls up, and I added the details as I go along. With this particular build, I took a different approach. When I cut out one wall, I put the details on before gluing it to another wall. I find it easier for the details. I can place the wall flat and work on the desktop instead of while it stood up like that and propping it up so it doesn't collapse on itself. So, I've done these walls, as you can see, and I have left 1, 2, 3, 4 small walls at the back, one of which I doubt will have windows. It's too small. Anyway, so that's progress so far. I am still unsure of what door to use this time. I have a couple of ideas. One of them is, sadly, is impossible because the track is in the way. I was thinking of a sliding door, sliding along here when it's open, and when it closes, it comes, obviously, closes the door. But it will need something as a guide on the floor. And, well, there are the tracks there, and I'm not willing to cut through the tracks. No. So I will have to find another solution for that. So I'll carry on and update you later. Here is the second update. The building is ready, all of it, even the rear walls, as you can see. There are 2 small walls here which don't have windows, not important. But it's ready. I have the roof ready as well. It's just not here at the moment. I installed this motor here. This is exactly the same motor I have on the other engine shed, and as you can see, I've used a rolling shutter. I have it working temporarily just by flipping over the polarity and make sure I'm opening it. Yep. That's one direction, and now for the other. I don't have any limit switches installed yet, as you can see. I mean, I simply switched it on and off to stop it in the right position or close. So next we'll be putting on the wiring and for the micro switches here to limit the movement of the door. Then I will be installing some LEDs for lighting, and I can start painting it and putting it in place. So next time you see this, hopefully it will be in place, working and painted. So until then. And we're done. So at the moment it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. There's also light coming in through the door and the window. My lights in here are off. I just want to show you the lighting here. There's 4 LEDs in there which I will light in sequence. At the moment they're just connected to a 12-volt power supply, and I'm going to operate the door now, but it will be at about 12 to 16 volts. It's a bit fast. It will be in the future regulated to about 9 or 7 volts to make it slower, and it will be controlled through DCC and through a relay. I have not done that part yet. I just have a bunch of wires here. I'm going to plug them into a 3S LiPo battery. I'm going to open the door. It's very fast, as I said. It will stop automatically when it hit the limit switch, which it just did now. Now I need to reverse the polarity. Bear with me a moment, please. And I will send it back down when I find the correct wire. Here we are. It's also stopped there automatically. You can see the light bleeding at the bottom. I may need a slight adjustment there. That's okay, that's not a problem. But overall, that is the idea for the shed. And the door and the lights will open first. First the lights will go on, and the door will open, and the DMUs come out. When they're clear of this area, the door will come down and the lights will go off. On their return to the shed, a block or two away, the door will start opening and the lights will come on. They will enter. When they are both in there, after some time, the door will come down and the lights will go off. That's what I want to automate. So this is done. The next, let me put the lights on. Ooh. Next, I want to put some ballast here in this area. The track behind it here. The track here, which leads to the other engine sheds. And I want to finish that area. Beyond that line is for a different project, but I want to embellish from here, from that track, all the way in here, and this area here. I will add, let me just turn this a bit, this boundary wall here from the other engine shed. I want to extend it around here, come around here, and close off an area which indicates that this is a no-go zone, is closed off anyway. So that is going to be my next step to embellish this area. Until then, time for another update. As you can see, I've added the ground cover here. I've ballasted all the tracks and put up these boundary walls alongside here, all the way to the around here to the other shed, and this way towards the fuel station. I've put this shed here. This will be a guard's room. There'll be some security here for vehicles coming in and out of this property. I intend to put a barrier here, and I was thinking of a gate over here. I'm not sure about this one yet, but this I would like to do. Obviously this will be animated, and so will, if I do this, so will this, and this will work in conjunction with the door and the activity of traffic in and out of the shed. So for the time being, I'm going to stop this area here as it is. I'm going to leave it as it is. I know I need grass there, but I'm hopeless at that. And if I'm going to wait until I put the grass down to publish this video, it's going to be another year. So I am now going to lift up the baseboard. Remember, this is hinged. And I'm going to install an ESP32 Arduino based underneath and set it up to control the motor. The lighting in here, I have some lighting coming by post for outside the shed. I want to put some lighting in here, control this, and if I do this as well, the gate, and up here, somewhere here, I want to put a signal, 2 aspect, to warn these guys here on their way out whether this is clear to proceed or not. This is here, it's been dumped here and abandoned. I hope to have some tall grass around it and maybe a tree growing somewhere. And that's it. Oh, I've weathered the building and the area like I got. This was borrowed from the fueling station. It's got different color windows, so I want to keep this the theme here the same, gray. So I'll build another one of these and put this one back where it was. So I'm going to lift up. Until then, without getting into too much detail, On the right you have the ESP32, which controls the two relays which act as a toggle switch for polarity changing for the motor of the shutter on the garage. And these two here are the boards that control the stepper motors. This one for the this is for the barrier, and this one here is for the gate. As you can see, there's a lot of wiring under here. I am working on these thin wires now, which are the lighting here for the yard. Also, I have to clean up this. This is the I to C bus bar which goes around the whole layout. I have to clean this up. I'm using this at the moment, this USB connection, to power this ESP32. This will no longer be necessary here because I will be feeding a 5-volt power supply directly in here. And this temporarily here is the 12 volts needed for the motor of the roller shutter. So I will leave you with this mess for now. Hopefully you will never see this again, or if you do, it's all cleaned up. Until then. And there you have it. The door is fully automated. It will open automatically just before the train route starts. It will stop at the open position until all the trains have left. The gate has opened automatically also. That is controlled by the point. Once the point changes to the curve into the yard, automatically the gate will open. The point was released and the gate will close until the first DMU clears the block it currently is occupying. Once that is clear, the second DMU will realize it's clear, and iTrain will allow it to start its own route. Just before it leaves, it reserves the block, taking over that first point, which will automatically open the gate again. There you are. Now it's opening. Soon you'll see the lights in there come on the DMU. There you are. And out it comes. I have not yet decided when to close the shutter. I think I will leave it open for the time being until the route for both DMUs is, at the moment it's on automatic, until both DMUs come back. The gates will close as well, but I don't think I need to close it every time. I'm not sure yet anyway. It's something I'll play about with when I'm doing some running sessions. Anyway, this is the automated part, the function of this area. Now I'll give you a quick tour around the whole area and I'll tell you what I've done. Until then. Okay. So these are two of my favorite pieces in the whole project. This barrier here and this gate. I also happen to like these lights. I like it all. I like this little room here, the guard room. I like the way it functions. I like the way it looks. I'm very happy and pleased with it. So what I'm going to show you next is these two functioning. Some of you may have already seen these on my blog or my Facebook page, but just in case you didn't, here it goes. First I'll open the gate. That's the gate opening. Normally this would open automatically when this point back here, you can't see what's on the room, when this point back here changes in direction into the yard. So, and then we have the barrier. The barrier is there to control who comes in and out of the yard, because this is private property here. So I can close that and that. At the moment I'm controlling them manually from my train just by clicking a button. Now I'm going to switch the lights off in the room, and it's kind of getting dark, like 5 or 6 in the evening. Here in Malta, it's about that time it's almost dark. Nowadays it will even get darker quicker later on in winter. So now I'm going to switch on the yard lights. There's only 2 of them in this picture, but they have quite an effect. I still need to put a light inside here, inside the guard room. I already have a hole there to go through. And I also need to put back here 2 aspect signal to indicate whether it's clear to leave, depending on the traffic coming from the other yard or coming in from the main line, whatever. Anyway, that is one side of the yard. Now I'm going to leave the lights on as they are. I'm not going to turn the camera around facing the shed. 1 second. This is the front of the shed. You've seen this before, except you haven't seen it with the lights. I put 1 light here and 2 here. The 2 here is to indicate some more lighting. There's a road here, it's a dirt road. But the inner 2 here are for the open area of the shed. So with or without the lights, they have quite an effect, especially because they are warm white on the limestone color. It comes out a bit more, so very pleased with that. Lights off for now, and I'm going to turn the camera a bit more. This is the side of the shed. That is the road. There is a here. This has been dumped here and abandoned. Eventually one day when I have grass everywhere, that will be swallowed up by grass. Nature will take over there. So lights on. We have 1 more light here to light up. Let's call it a road. Okay, and 1 more camera move, which will bring us to the back here. I'm going to put the lights on. Phew, the sun came up quickly. This area here, I still need to put something over the track, because this is the road into the other yard. Under this I have a screw, which I have forgotten when I put the gravel down and buried it, and I couldn't open the baseboard, and I couldn't understand why. So now I have a rock to cover it after I uncovered the screw. Anyway, so that is that. Camera move again. It has suddenly gone dark. I just just closed the curtains, that's all. I wanted to simulate nighttime. I think there's quite a nice angle to see it with the lights on, like simulating night. So this is it for now. It took some, 3, close to 4 weeks to do all this, but I had a lot of waiting for parts to do and what have you. Remember, here nothing is local, I have to import everything, so things take time. You get used to it, it's a way of life here. So, until the next project, guys, thanks for watching. I would like to hear your comments. I would like it if you liked the video, and if you haven't yet subscribed, become a subscriber. You can visit my blog. There's a description somewhere in the video at the bottom. So until the next one, thanks for watching. Bye.